What's going on, traders? Few things to talk about. We're gonna get straight into it. Like, subscribe, comment your thoughts below. Let's get into the video. So today in the Discord, we jumped into those Google calls all over again. I talked about Google in the last video and how it kind of stopped us out of our position due to that overreaction to the news that we got yesterday. We saw a huge spike down and then an immediate recovery. It ended up stopping us out of our position. And I told you guys in the last video that I do believe that Google is still going to head back towards the upside, and that's exactly what happened. We saw Google pump all the way to about 179.5, 180, and we took advantage of that in the Discord, right? We got in on those July 18th strike calls, 180 strike calls for July 18th at 2.05. Our stop was 177. We didn't get nowhere near the stop. Made a decent amount of profit. Not my ideal amount of profit for the day, but profit is profit. I'd rather be green than red any day, and I'm sure Discord members will agree with that. So made a nice little 100. I actually made a little bit more. I ended up, my position ended up closing at like $200, but still, you know, it's a decent amount of money. So it's a nice little cell phone bill for me, right? So if we check the winners tab, Discord members actually made a lot more than I did today on those Google calls, right? Her right here, she's pretty new. She made $339 off MSTR calls. I talked about MSTR in the last video. I told you guys that I do believe MSTR is heading towards 430, and so far MSTR is pumping, right? This guy right here, he made $1,000 off iBit, so congrats to him as well. He's always killing it in the Discord. Him right here, he made $300 off those Google calls, 180 strike calls, so congrats to him. Him right here, he's new to the Discord. He just joined. He already made $200 off those Google calls, so congrats to him as well. Him right here, he made $540 off the Google calls. So yeah, Discord link is in the description below, guys. Another beautiful day. Nothing too crazy for the day, right? But profit is profit. Again, I'd rather be green than red any day. All right, so when we're looking at the overall market, right, it's kind of a good market. It's kind of an annoying market, right? Because you're seeing a lot of range trading, right? You're pumping towards the upside, but by the time the market really opens, you're kind of getting these dragged moves, right, back and forth, right? And so if we look at the ES, one thing I've been telling you guys is that every time you get within the range of this trend line here, you want to be careful, right? You really want to be careful. So we're on the daily time frame. Let's actually go to the weekly time frame so you guys can get a better idea of what I'm talking about, right? But every time we hit this trend line, we get some form of rejection. Now, the rejection doesn't have to happen right away, but eventually you do get some type of rejection towards the downside. So here you got a rejection here. Here you broke above it a little bit. You played games for a few weeks. Keep in mind, this is the weekly time frame. You played games for a few weeks. You broke down. You did it all over again, and then you broke down all over again, or you made a much lower low here. So you start making lower lows here, right? And so here, all over again, you start doing the same thing, right? You made your double top here. You played games for a few weeks to a few months, right? Then you ended up making your double top. You broke the neckline of the double top. You got your tariff news, and then you broke down all over again. And so you're back here all over again. And once again, I'm going to reiterate to you guys that every time you get within the range of this trend line, you want to be careful. Now, it's not to say that we have to reject from here, right? We can do like we did in the past, where we just continue to break above the trend line over and over. We hold above this trend line for a few weeks, right? We keep playing games, and then eventually we end up breaking down for maybe the month of August, because notoriously the month of August and September are bearish. And crazy enough, August 1st is when tariffs are supposed to drop. So kind of crazy how things are lining up. Now, I will say this. I do believe July, well, one thing we do know, right, is July historically is bullish. I think July is going to be a pretty annoying month. And when I say annoying, I simply mean we're just going to do a lot of range trading, right? We're going to be just bouncing back and forth here, like you're doing something like this, right? Maybe you break a little bit above it, but ultimately you're going to probably do this for the rest of July. I don't think it's going to be some huge melt up, or you just break out and you start heading towards 7,000 or something. I don't think that's going to be the case, but I do think you're going to do a lot of, you know, consolidating towards the upside here. Majority of the move you're going to see is towards the upside for July, in my opinion, right? You're probably going to break a little bit above this, maybe see highest maybe 6,500, 6,600 range, and then do this for a few weeks, and then ultimately end up breaking down, right? And obviously some dips are going to come along the way. So again, just to be clear, right, I'm still leaning towards the bullish side here. It's just I think the bullish side is kind of going to be, I guess, annoying or pretty boring, right? Because we're just probably going to see this slow burn towards the upside, a lot of premium eating, a lot of data decay back and forth over and over. So you guys let me know what you think about that in the comments below. You look at the NASDAQ, right? NASDAQ, we talked about this in a few videos ago, where you do have a little bit more space towards the upside, right? And this is why I do believe ES is probably going to see a move a little bit above that trend line here and there. So you do have a little bit more space towards the upside when it comes to NASDAQ, towards 23,400, 23,500, give or take. You go to the weekly time frame here, right? You rejected here, right? You rejected here, you rejected here, and it looks like we can head back towards this area between 23,400, 23,500. So again, you do have a bit more space towards the upside when it comes to the tech sector. And obviously, if the tech sector is pumping, then the SPY ES is going to pump as well. So you look at the SPY, same thing when it comes to the NQ, right? You have a little bit more space towards the upside where you can see that move towards 630, 635. We talked about this in the past, where I do believe SPY does have the potential to head towards 630, 635. And once you get within that range, you want to be careful. I mean, again, you rejected here, right? You rejected here, you rejected here, you formed a double top here, you broke the neckline, 575, got your tariff news, boom, you broke down. Now you're heading back towards this target all over again, or this trend line all over again. So I think 630, 635 is on the table, guys. It's just a matter of when you get here, you want to be careful. Okay, you really want to be careful. It's not to say that we can't pump a little bit higher, right? We can head towards 640. That's a very strong psych level, right? Maybe we head towards 640. But again, the point being, or hopefully what I'm trying to get across to you guys, is once you get within the range of the 630s, you just kind of want to take profit. At least I will. I'm going to start trimming profit more, aggressively, maybe hold some runners here and there. But ultimately, I want to be careful within this range, if and only if we get within this range. So your key levels here when it comes to the SPY, plain and simple, 613. All right, 613. Because and the reason why I'm just getting to the point here when it comes to levels is that 620 is a major level, but we're seeing bulls just defend the crap out of that, right? So it's kind of me just regurgitating the same thing. Ultimately, as long as 613 hold, I mean, you can see it clear as day. Let's go back to the weekly time frame. You see it clear as day on the weekly time frame. You see how important and strong this level is. This is the level of all levels. As long as you stay above this level, really hard to be bearish, really hard to flip bearish or be like 70-80% bearish on the market. For now, every dip that comes our way is most likely going to be a dip buying opportunity until maybe we get within this range, 635, 630 range. Okay, so something you want to think about here. All right, triple Qs. Triple Qs, again, I mean, you have a lot of space towards the upside here. And like I said before, once you start doing this crap, once you break below a pattern, like a rising wedge pattern, you start doing this crap, chances are you're probably going to continue towards the upside or bounce back towards the upside. So this is probably going to get invalidated, if not invalidated already. Triple Qs can head towards minimum 560. Highs we're looking at is about 570. Okay, you do have a lot more space on the triple Qs in comparison to the SPY and even the ES, right? So something you want to look out for. But here you look at the weekly time frame here, you rejected here, you rejected here, you rejected here. You guys get the idea. Okay, so once you get within the range of this trend line all over again between 560 and 570, you definitely want to be careful. I do imagine the market is probably going to start, looking for opportunities to sell off, or bears are going to start looking for opportunities to start selling off the market. Chances are, I think it's going to happen in August, maybe September, something like that. But within those months, I think July is going to be, July is probably going to be bullish. It's just probably going to be a lot of consolidating. Okay, so you're going to see more green than red, but a lot of it's going to be consolidating. So that's just my personal belief. You guys let me know what you think in the comments below. Your key level here when it comes to just importance, I mean, ultimately 540, guys, 540. Anything over that, it's just a dip buying opportunity, in my opinion, at this point. Because again, I'm just gonna keep regurgitating the same thing. Every YouTuber you watch is probably gonna regurgitate the same thing when it comes to levels. So what's important here is 540. Okay, 540. SPY 613. Qs 540. Until those get broken, it's safe to, I would say, remain bullish. Okay, just remain bullish at that point. You do what you want, do your own research, do your own due diligence. Don't take my word for it. VIX. So VIX is breaking that trend line. It broke the trend line. I actually erased it at this point because it just completely destroyed it, right? But VIX 14, we're getting within the range of 15 and 14. We've seen this happen before. Okay, we've seen what's happened before. Someone mentioned it in the last video in my comments, saying they remembered the last time I mentioned 14, and like a few days later the market just went to hell, right? So I think that's where we're heading at this point. I do believe that we're going to start heading towards the range of 15 and 14 at this point. Now, how fast we get there, I can't say for sure. It's probably going to be a slow burn, but yeah, when it comes to the VIX, we're probably going to head towards these guys right here. You guys see it right here. Let's zoom in, right here. is where I think we're going to head towards, between 15 and 14. So once you get within the range of 15 and 14, be careful when it comes to the VIX. Obviously, the market is going to move inverse of the VIX, so on and so forth. So just be careful. Keep an eye on this. Again, you broke this trend line here. You broke this here, right? You broke this here. And there was another one here. And then you broke this here. So, VIX looks like it's ready to just continue towards the downside. So we'll see. But between 15 and 14 is where I'm looking at when it comes to the VIX, which is good, right? Which is good for bulls because now you're expecting the market to see more upside at this point. All right, so let's go over some stocks. And then, of course, we're going to go over Bitcoin. I'm sure a lot of you are excited about that. But let's go over Tesla. Right, so Tesla, I gotta be bullish again on Tesla. I gotta be bullish. I'm sorry, I gotta be bullish. You broke back within the symmetrical triangle. How this happened, I don't know, but you broke back within the symmetrical triangle. Like I said, I said this in the Discord, right? I said it seems like Elon Musk just pushes out bad news to make Tesla cheaper. I don't call it a conspiracy. I don't know, but it's like Tesla dumped and then he just went silent. And then the Grok news came out, and now we're pumping again. So I do believe Tesla is going to continue to pump from here. I genuinely believe that 312 is your key level here. You get above 312, chances are you're heading towards 320. Okay, 318, 320 range. For me personally, I think 350 is open. I do. You guys know I've been talking about this. When I was bullish on Tesla, I've been talking about this. When I was bearish on Tesla, I was just like, hey, I'm neutral. I wasn't even bearish on Tesla. I was just more so neutral within this range between 290 and 300. But yeah, Tesla broke back within the symmetrical triangle. You guys know what I say about patterns. Anytime you break back within a pattern, chances are you're going to continue in that direction. So yeah, I think we're going to continue in this direction as long as the market remains bullish. Maybe Tesla does its own thing. I don't know, but Tesla has a lot of space towards 350 from this point on. So I'm probably going to look to enter trades tomorrow, depending on how we open, depending on how things look. We'll see, but Tesla looks good now. It's back above 300. That's positive gamma territory. You're back within the symmetrical triangle. You created a higher low here. So you had your low here, higher low here, higher low here. Now you created another higher low. Even on a weekly time frame, it looks really good, right? Low, higher low all over again. You go to the 4-hour time frame, guys. Right, 4-hour time frame looks even better here because again, low, higher low. You broke this neckline here. This is actually a double bottom. You broke this neckline here. So yeah, Tesla I think has more upside to go, guys, at this point. All right, so that's what I'm looking at for Tesla. It's really hard to be bearish once you broke back into the symmetrical triangle. We'll see. All right. And then obviously pay attention to the 200 MA as well. So that's what I'm looking at for Tesla right now. It's really hard to be bearish from at this point until it gets back below 300. Okay, if it gets back below 300, then we'll start talking about being bearish again. But right now, it's not looking like that's going to be the case. Apple. So Apple, I genuinely believe Apple looks really good. It's just annoying to trade. It's like really, really annoying to trade. Apple looks really good here. So you're creating these higher lows, right? So low here, higher low here, higher low. It's like a minor higher low here. You're forming a higher low here, right? So Apple looks good. It looks like it's ready to see more upside. And right now I'm looking at this trend at around 218, 220. So you zoom out, and then you zoom out on the weekly time frame, you see that you rejected here, rejected here, rejection here, rejection here, so on and so forth. So I do believe Apple is trying to head back up here towards 217, 218, and then we'll see what happens from there. But yeah, Apple looks good. I really don't have anything bad to say about Apple at this point. I think Apple does have potential to continue towards the upside. There's a lot of bulls in this area that could carry Apple higher. So I think we're in a good position here. If Apple manages to break back below, I would say 207, it could be concerning because then you're back within the range of these guys right here. So 207, 206.8, you're back within the range of these guys right here, right here, right here. So yeah, Apple can head back down towards about 200 at that point if it gets back below 207. But for now, Apple looks strong. You broke towards the upside. You made a higher low. You bounced off this support level here. Good chance that Apple continues back towards the upside. We'll see. So Apple looks good. Okay, Apple looks good. It just trades like molasses. Okay, it's just annoying. It's so annoying to trade. All right, so Apple looks good. Nvidia. So I've been saying for quite some time, Okay, for the past, I don't know how many videos that I do believe Nvidia is going to head towards 170. I still believe that. Okay, I still believe that. I think Nvidia wants to head towards 170, guys. Okay, um, that's it. I mean, that's really all I have for Nvidia. Just nothing about this thing looks bearish. It's holding 160. It's creating higher lows. It has plenty of space towards 170 at this point. It has an upgrade to 190, right? Bitcoin is going ballistic after hours right now. But yeah, I couldn't give you a bad thing about this. I really couldn't. Nvidia looks great. Okay, simple as that. So yeah, um, yeah, bullish. That's all I got. Okay, that's all I got, guys. Nvidia looks great. Um, Bitcoin and then MSTR. Bitcoin, like I said, I told you guys last video. I said last video, Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin is going to break out even higher this week, and I said earliest could be today. All right, new highs. The sky's the limit. I don't know where Bitcoin can go at this point, guys. You have this beautiful bull flag here. The measured move for this bull flag is 200K. Now, I don't think Bitcoin is going to make 200K this month. I would say by the end of this year it can, but who knows? Okay, Bitcoin is going absolutely crazy after hours. 15,400. My lord. Oh man, MSTR is probably already at 430 or damn near it. Okay, so yeah, you have this huge flagpole here, measured move 200K. Well, actually, it was like 170K, but yeah, I think 200K would be reasonable at that point. But yeah, Bitcoin looks good. You're at price discovery mode at this point. You're at new highs, 120K. It's a very reasonable price target here. All right, that's really all I have for Bitcoin. MSTR. Where's this thing at? 426 after hours. 426 after hours. My man. Okay, so I told you guys 430. 430 was the target. Looks like it's heading there. All right. That's that's really the highest I think MSTR can go is 435. It obviously can head higher than that, right? I just can't. I mean, when you're talking about price discovery, it's hard to tell what's going to happen from here, right? But I mean, man, Bitcoin is just going crazy, guys. Okay, so yeah, the best I can give you at this point is 435. I'm sure some of you watching this video, you're gonna FOMO in, even though I literally said this last video that this thing can head to 430, and this was when it was at like 409. So yeah, yeah, you might have missed out. So we'll see. But 435 is my target. Let's look at Coin real quick. I think Coin is going to head towards 420. So if you want to trade something, maybe trade Coin. I think Coin is ready to head towards 420, right here. 420, highest 430. So where these guys are, right here. Okay, I think that's reasonable. So look out for Coin if Bitcoin just decides to bless you guys in the morning and maybe dip. But yeah, I think Coin is going to head towards 420, 430, and then whatever happens from there is up in the air. Boeing, I think, I think Boeing. I'm honestly looking to trade Boeing tomorrow. 250. 250. I think Boeing can head towards 250. I told you guys about Boeing when it was at like 205, 210. I told you guys this thing can head towards 220. We traded in the Discord. We made an absolute killing off this thing. But yeah, there's a huge gap here at 245. I think Boeing can make it happen, guys. So you guys let me know what you think in the comments below. Um, and that's all I have. All right. So hopefully tomorrow we can catch some bangers. Hopefully we get a better movement tomorrow when it comes to, certain names. I'm hoping Nvidia takes off. I'm hoping Apple really takes off. I think it's only a matter of time, given what Bitcoin is doing, that we're probably going to see an explosion in the market, like a nice little move towards the upside in the market, and then probably give it all back, just given what we've been seeing lately. So we'll see. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I think I went over everything I wanted to go over. Pay attention to semiconductors as usual. And yeah, until the next video, traders, have a good one.